I have seen the dream of MLK come true. I have seen Martin's dream of justice alive and well. When at Thanksgiving my family sits down to break bread together with folks of many different races, ethnicities, religions, my family sees Martin's dream, and we only judge people by the content of their character, not by the color of their skin. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have seen the dream of MLK come true. I have trusted my life in the hands of many, a black brother, a brown brother, and an immigrant brother in the military, and they have saved my life countless times. I saw Martin's dream alive and well. Many times my destiny was tied with my brother's destiny as we served our America in combat overseas. We did not care what color of skin our warriors brothers had, what adult sexual partner our warrior brothers had, or what religion they practiced or did not practice. Martin said, it must not lead us to distrust all white people, for many of our white brothers, as evidenced by their presence here today, have come to realize that their destiny is tied up with our destiny. I have tasted the bittersweet taste of freedom as I held wounded warriors of America, both in battle. When they return home for treatment, I knew then and I know now, freedom is not cheap. But I heard it ring loud and clear, even after the battle smoke cleared. This made true to me what Martin said. When we allow freedom to reign, when we let it rain from every city in every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing, in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Great God Almighty, we are free. Told by another leader that America is the land of opportunity, but we see these opportunities dying with Why would we let the dream die when we were near the top of the mountain and had the whole world wanting to be us, brothers and sisters? Yet it's so much better to be loved and respected. That is real power. Now, we want to be the feared bully of our own people and other nations. In the past, I heard fools say they hate us because we ain't us. Now I say the rest of the world doesn't want to be us anymore. The rest of the world thinks we have lost our minds, and we are the dangerous neighbors that will rob them in their sleep. This is not Martin's dream.
I want you to picture a desk today in Statuary Hall. Picture that desk, and it's right there in the United States Capitol. The staff set up a signing desk, put the seal of the President of the United States right on the front of it. Cameras ready, because just yesterday, the President of the United States was going to a place to real bipartisan thing Washington has done in, I don't know, how long? When was the last time have you seen a bipartisan bill that was really for all of everyday Americans? About an hour before the showtime, the president posted on social media that the signing was off. He didn't show up. He left that desk sitting there empty with the seal on it in front of God and the cameras. Why? Because he wants something first. He is holding that housing bill, your housing bill, hostage. And the ransom he's demanding is a voter suppression law. So today, I am not going to dance around it. I am not going to both sides it for you. Let's go. So, then under. This was supposed to be a bill for all of us. Y'all, welcome to the Hillbilly Think Tank. I am Spencer Keck. I'm the educated hillbilly, and no, that's not an oxymoron. That, don't call me a moron. There have been educated, erudite, and emancipated hillbillies in Kentucky ever since my kith and kin came through the Cumberland Gap with Daniel Boone and the Long Hunters on their quest for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what it's all about. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And they look for that here. Again, I'm Spencer Keck, retired Navy doc, combat veteran, current public school teacher, and candidate for magistrate in the Hardin County Fiscal Court, District 3. And on most issues, I'll give the other side its fair hearing. Not today. On this one, I will not equivocate, and I'll tell you exactly why. You see those pictures I've got going by there? That is the Kentucky that I love, that many of us love. But what is happening? This bill was meant for all of us. Here's what just happened. Here are the facts plain. This week, Congress passed the 21st Century ROAD, Road to Housing Act. It is, by most accounts, the most significant housing bill in decades. It's built to do the thing every family in this country is begging for, bringing down the cost of a home. It cuts red tape to get more houses built, and this part matters. It limits the big Wall Street investors and private equity firms from buying up single family homes, the homes that ought to be going to families like yours. And it didn't squeak through. It passed the Senate, then the House with huge bipartisan veto-proof majorities. And this Congress, the one that can barely agree to keep the lights on, that is a damn near miracle. Both parties wanted to stand up and say, look, we did something for you. All right, y'all. I'm not sure how that went. Looks like it's still counting me as live from where it cut out. Hopefully it is. And yeah, copycats, I think you're right. The internet did not like me today. But I see I still got 16 of you listed as being here. Hopefully you'll stick with me and we'll get through this. All right, y'all. So, as we were saying, in statutory hall, the president was supposed to have signed this Fair Housing Act. And he is holding it hostage because he wants his voter suppression law to be signed. Well, y'all, that is not part of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When you will shut down our ability to live safely in our own home and to buy one for ourselves. So we're here. We're not going to equivocate. I'm not going to try to play the other side's point of view to give you the devil's advocate side. No, I'm not going to equivocate on this one because we know that our country is begging for this legislation to go through. As I said, this week Congress passed that 21st Century Road to Housing Act, and it is the most significant housing bill in decades. It's built to do the thing every family in this county, in this country is begging for. Bring down the cost of a home, cuts that red tape to get more houses built, and this part matters, it limits the big Wall Street investors and the private equity firms from buying up single family homes, the homes that ought to be going to families like yours. Now, it didn't squeak through, hit past the Senate and the House with veto-proof margins. And that's what matters. Don't forget that part. We're going to get back to it, but that's extremely important because we know this Congress, they can't, even vote on how to keep the lights on. And it's a miracle that they passed this, but they wanted to let us know they did something for us. Finally, the president, he was set to sign it. He had a huge press release ready. And then in the last minute, he announces he thinks this thing is of minor importance compared to his voter suppression bill. And said he will not sign this housing bill until his voter suppression bill is signed. He believes suppressing the vote is a national emergency. So let's be precise about what that is. It's leverage. He's using your housing relief as a bargaining chip to force through an elections bill. Now, because the housing bill passed with that veto-proof majorities, it can actually still become law in 10 days, even if he never picks up that pen that he's so proud of, that little magic marker, as long as Congress stays in session. This was a choice to withhold the win, to stomp on a bipartisan victory and to yank the country's attention back to the one thing he wants more than lowering housing costs. He told reporters to see what happens with his voting bill first. The relief can wait, he's saying. The voting bill can't. Well, it's a voter suppression bill, and it's going to wait until, I don't know, the cows come home. This tells you everything about his priorities, and it tells you we better look hard at what that voting bill actually does. So let's look at the SAVE Act for what it really is. And again, I am not going to equivocate on this one. The SAVE Act would require every American to produce documentary proof of citizenship in order to register to vote and impose new ID rules nationwide. Think about this, y'all. Nationwide. And it's sold to you with two words: election integrity. So let's test it. The whole stated justification is stopping non-citizens from voting. Well, here's the fact that collapses the entire argument. Non-citizen voting in federal elections is already illegal. And every serious study, everyone, finds it vanishingly rare. You can't pass a sweeping national law. You don't shut down a housing bill and call a national emergency to fix a problem that barely exists and is already against the law. When the cure is enormous and the disease is microscopic, the cure was never about the disease. So what's it about? Follow the burden. Who actually gets hurt by a documentary proof of citizenship rule? Not the people with a passport in the drawer and a birth certificate in the file. It's the folks who don't have those papers handy. It's the elderly widow whose birth certificate is in a courthouse 3 states away. It's the working family that can't take a day off to chase paperwork. It's the married woman whose maiden name doesn't match her birth certificate anymore. That's millions of women right there. It's poor folks, rural folks, students, and yes, disproportionately, Black and brown and Native voters who've been on the wrong end of this exact game before. And I'll add one more thing. It's impoverished folks in Kentucky, in Appalachia, and that video roll that I was rolling earlier in the background. And that's why I'll say this thing plainly. This is Jim Crow in a new suit. Now, I'm not telling you they're bringing back the literal laws of 1955. I'm telling you, the same machine, Jim Crow, didn't usually say, we don't want these people voting out loud. It said poll tax. It said literacy test. It dressed up exclusion in a neutral sounding requirement and then applied it so that the right people sailed through and the wrong people got turned away. A proof of citizenship paperwork hurdle aimed at a fraud problem that's already illegal and barely exists. It's the same machine in a new suit. I've read my history. I teach this history. I know the pattern when I see it. And I'm not going to call it anything softer than what it is. So here is my stand with no hedging. I am for the right of every eligible American to cast a ballot. Period. I will not trade that away. And I will not pretend that it makes it harder for the poor, the old, and the marginalized to vote is anything other than what it is: voter suppression. Clear and simple. And that's not what I trailed around the world fighting bad guys for, and to come back and then see that the whole rights I was defending, such as voting rights, are now going to be stomped on after all the years I spent in combat to defend democracy here in this nation. Forget about it. So let's look at this hypocrisy, because we got to stay tight on voting rights. Here's the bitter irony on the housing half of it. The very thing this bill does, stop Wall Street from gobbling up single-family homes, is something the vice president himself has stood up and railed against over and over. He said out loud that we give big investors cheap money and let them buy homes that by all rights should go to American families. Well, here was the bill that finally did something about it, and his administration just torpedoed it. So you tell me whether all the tough talk about Wall Street and housing was ever really real, or whether it was just a costume too, especially from a man whose own political rise was bankrolled by Wall Street and Silicon Valley billionaires. Follow the money. It usually tells the truth. Look at where Vance's money came from those Wall Street and Silicon Valley folks. Same folks that are buying up single family units to resell them or to re-rent them. All right, y'all, let's bring it home. Let's bring it home to Hardin County. What does a desk with nobody behind it in Washington have to do with us? Well, y'all, both halves of this land right here in Hardin County and all over this whole state. On housing, you know what's happening to home prices and rents right around here in Hardin County. We've got Fort Knox families. We've got young folks, young couples trying to buy their first place in Elizabethtown and Colesburg and Youngers Creek. We've got Blue Oval that's come and gone, but when they come again, they're going to have families that need somewhere to live. When they come here to work, they finally open up that EV plant again, that battery plant down there. You know, we've been waiting for it. Now, do we need a bill that builds more homes and keeps Wall Street from buying up our neighborhoods? Yes. And that's not abstract to Hardin County. That's our kids being able to afford to stay in the county they grew up in. And it just got held hostage. And on voting, well, the SAVE Act doesn't suppress votes in some far off place. It would make it harder for our neighbors, the elderly folks out towards Colesburg, working families, students at E-Town Community and Technical, even veterans who didn't have their paperwork in a neat little file to register and vote right here in District 3. I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. That oath didn't expire when I took off the uniform. And the Constitution it protects includes the right of the people to choose their government. And as I said, I didn't serve in the uniform under danger in combat so politicians could decide which citizens are allowed to vote. So I do not support Trump's blocking of votes. I want everyone to be allowed to vote. Everyone should be allowed to vote. Every citizen of this United States deserves that right to vote. Now I'm running for magistrate. I won't get a vote on a federal housing bill or a federal elections bill, but I'll tell you what this seat is about, and it's the same principle: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You cannot pursue happiness without a roof over your head, and you cannot keep your liberty if they can quietly take away your vote. A man who'll hold your housing hostage to thin out the voter rolls is working against both. So I won't be silent about it here or anywhere. Housing for the people, yes. Voter registration dressed up in a new suit, no. And there is no version of me that splits the difference on that. And there shouldn't be a version of you that would split the difference on that. Because y'all, this is the lifeblood of our democracy. Always has been, always will be. You prove me wrong. Y'all, I'm Spencer Keck, the educated hillbilly, and this has been the Hillbilly Think Tank. Come to a fiscal court meeting, bring your hardest question. Whether I earn your vote or not, I'll answer. I'll see you there. Keep thinking deeply. And remembering Kentucky, united we stand, divided we fall. It isn't just words on a flag, it's the glue that holds us together. Because if we love our neighbors as ourselves, and we recognize that, yes, we are our brother's keeper and our sister's keeper, then we cannot be divided, and we will not fail. Remember, everyone deployed overseas, and bless your corazón, that's Spanish for heart.
a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have seen the dream of MLK come true. I have trusted my life in the hands of many a black brother, a brown brother, and an immigrant brother in the military, and they have saved my life. Countless times I saw Martin's dream alive, and well, many times my destiny was tied with my brother's destiny. As we served our American dream in combat overseas, we did not care what color of skin our warrior brothers had, what adult sexual partner our warrior brothers had, or what religion they practiced or did not practice. Martin said, it must not lead us to distrust all white people from many of our white brothers. As evidenced by their presence here today, I've come to realize that their destiny is tied up with our destiny. I knew then and I know now, freedom is not cheap, but I heard it ring loud and clear. Even after the battle smoke cleared, this made true to me what Martin said. When we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every city and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day. When all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, great God Almighty, we are free at last. Oh, brothers and sisters, I have seen the dream. The dream made us so great. Why would we shut out this dream from our midst now? I was told by another leader that America is the land of opportunity, but we see these opportunities dying with our dreams. Why, America? Why would we let the dream die when we were near the top of the mountain and had the whole world wanting to be us? Brothers and sisters, it is so much better to be loved and respected. That is real power. Now, we want to be the feared bully of our own people and other nations. In the past, I heard fools say they hate us because they ain't us. Now I say the rest of the world doesn't want to be us anymore. The rest of the world thinks we have lost our mind and we are the dangerous neighbors that will rob them in their sleep. This is not Martin's dream. Oh, brothers and sisters, I have seen the dream. The dream made us so great. I have seen the dream of MLK come true. I've seen Martin's dream of justice alive and well. When at the dawn's early light, I heard freedom ring. Come all ye children, sing. We must hear freedom ring. This is my American dream. Free at last, great God Almighty, we are free at last. I've seen the dream come true. I've seen Martin's dream of justice alive and whirlwind at Thanksgiving. My family sits down to break bread together with folks of many different